So here's the bombshell. Your website's look and feel is sending a message to your potential customers. Let me say this again. Your website's look and feel is sending a message to your potential customers. Now, I just want to do a website comparison for a particular industry, and I'm going to pick the catering industry. I started working and giving some advice and consulting to a catering company X amount of years ago. And when I started doing so, this was a catering company in question, also at spitroasts.com. When I started doing so, I always thought that catering companies were just catering companies. I didn't really think that much about it, to be honest with you. I had a little bit of inside information or information about catering companies because I had a hire company, and catering companies were one of my customers. So I knew a little bit about the industry, not so much. I just thought caterers were just caterers. But when I did some investigation and some research in the industry, I started to find different types of caterers. Just have a drink. I found this company, Corporate Office Caterers, officecaterers.com.au, and they had a different look and feel to their website. Obviously, my client was the backyard party, 18th, 21st, traditional spit roasts, whereas Office Caterers gave them a little bit more corporate look. Now, I would suggest to you that a secretary in a legal firm who just been asked by one of her directors to organize some platters of sandwiches for the afternoon's meeting, the afternoon conference meeting, would feel more confident in ordering a platter full of sandwiches from perhaps the Office Caterers website than she would from the Spit Roast guy. But I'm going to go out on a bit of a limb and suggest to you that my Spit Roast guy would probably do you a plate of platters of sandwiches if he was asked. But the secretary would feel a lot more confident in buying the platters of sandwiches. I'm having difficulty with that word from the Office Caterers website. I then found this other website called cheapcatering.com.au. Cheap Spits, obviously it's sending a specific message to their target market. Cheap and nasty, cheap weddings, cheap spit roast, cheap, 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 probably would not guarantee the food. I found this website, weddingcaterers.com.au, once again targeting a specific niche in the market, weddings. Once again, I'm going out on a limb. If my client, Suburb Spit Roast, was asked to do a wedding, he would probably do a wedding. Then I found this website, Funeral Catering Specialist, funeralcatering.com.au. Obviously, you can see there's no balloons, there's no blowers, there's no party things. All depends on who's in the box, of course. But these are all targeting different niches. So here's a business web strategy that I promised you at the start you would never look at your website the same way again. And I also promised you from the onset that I'm going to blow your socks off. So here's some socks that I have blown off in the past. You let me know if I've blown your socks off with this particular strategy. I call it the 1 inch versus 1 mile strategy. 1 inch versus 1 mile strategy. And here it is. And we're going to stick with the catering industry, that example. In the past, and see if this relates to you, see if you did this for your website. In the past, we would build a website 1 inch wide and 1 mile deep. And it would usually be your name, www.yournameofthecompany.com.au. And using the catering example, we might have a page to say, hey, we do spits, we'll do office catering, we'll even do funeral catering, finger food, corporates, weddings, whatever the case may be. So it'd be one website 50 pages deep, using that as an example. Now we know that when we build one website, it's all congruent. All the web pages are the same, so we get a congruent look in a website. Now I want you to turn that model on its side. And I say the future, it's not even the future, it's the now. Let's think about turning that model on its side, and instead of going 1 inch wide, 1 mile deep, how about we go 1 mile wide and 1 inch deep? Instead of building 50 pages, one website 50 pages deep, how about we consider building 25 websites 2 to 3 pages deep? So instead of having a website, yourname.com, how about we have a weddingcaterer.com, a funeralcaterer.com, finger food cut, all different looks and feels. to those particular websites, targeting specific niches in the marketplace. You see, I've got a bit of a confession to make. The catering company I'm referring to in this instance, all those websites that we looked at were all from the same catering company. Because what we're trying to do here is get attention, attraction, affinity, and audience. Going back to our sales funnel, what we're trying to achieve as business owners is to have a really wide sales funnel. And we want to feed that sales funnel like a hungry beast. If you want your business to grow, we need to have a really wide sales funnel and feed it like a hungry beast. If you don't want your business to grow, that's okay. You can do that. Don't have a wide sales funnel, have a really narrow sales funnel. Don't feed the sales funnel, and I promise you, your business won't grow. You'll be stagnant, which in fact, you're going backwards and you'll soon die off. So what we're trying to do here is feed this sales funnel through these different various websites like a hungry beast. Now, I hate to admit it, we're still on websites. I hate to admit it, but I am 44 years of age now. And if you've seen some of my promotional shots, you might or might not notice that I've got this big crease in the middle of my forehead. Had it for years. Now, my wife, I tell my wife that the crease is a sign of maturity, it's a sign of wisdom. And she says, no, David, it's just a big crease in the middle of your forehead. So she's gone off and started to buy me this product called Nivea Cream for Men. She wants to keep me young forever. And when I remember to do so, I use Nivea Cream for Men. Now, I'm going to go on a bit of a limb here. I have no scientific research to back this up, but I'm going to suggest that what's in the Nivea Cream for Men is probably very similar, if not the same, as the Nivea Cream for Women. I've got the same skin as women. Maybe it's scented a little bit different. But what they've done here, what this company has done here, is packaged up their product, packaged up their service to meet the expectations of their target market, i.e. me. Because I'm going to feel a little bit better going into a pharmacy buying a Nivea Cream for Men in a blue packet than perhaps a Nivea Cream for Women in a pink packet. Now, that's what we're trying to do with our websites. All we're trying to do with our website is to package up our website to meet the needs and the expectations of our target market. So you're going to have multiple, in a lot of instances, you're going to have multiple niches. You're going to have multiple target markets. You know your business better than I do. But having those different target markets, each target market has a different expectation, and we can speak to them differently. So using my hire company as an example, I had different websites for different parts of my hire company because I'm not going to speak the same way to a party hire client than I am to a earth-moving, rough and tough builder. Does that make sense? So my target market for earth moving is going to have a different look and feel to my target market to somebody looking to hire a tent, some chairs and tables for a wedding perhaps. So meeting and packaging up your product to meet your target market's expectations is all we're trying to achieve with this website concept. So the question I have been asked in the past from a live event was, David, well then, yes, I fell into that trap. I've got a website called www.myname.com.au. Do I now ditch it? No, we don't ditch your existing website. This is a marketing strategy. It's an add-on marketing strategy from your initial website. And the reason we don't ditch it is that who's the website, who's your name's website servicing? What target market is your name's website servicing? Obviously, your existing customers. So because when your existing customers are looking for you on Google, they're going to type in your name. We want that website with your name on as the URL to come up number one and for them to find that easily. So we don't ditch our existing website in this strategy. So I was recently in Australia, about 3 weeks in February this year. And whilst I was in Australia, I did some searches because I just wanted to see what some of the results are for some of the keywords that my client is targeting. So I searched for party caterer. I was actually in North Ryde when I did this search on the 3rd of February. And this is what starts to happen when we have multiple websites. So the 7 million results, which I would suggest to you is a very competitive keyword phrase. So the keyword phrase party caterer, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, we've got 6 results out of a potential 22 results on that page. See, it's not good enough to have one result on one page anymore. One result on one page, sometimes there's up to 30 listings, is about 3% chance of getting clicked. 3% chance of getting clicked. Nothing happens unless we get the click. Here, 6 out of 22, we've got about 30% chance of getting that customer or getting that inquiry into our sales funnel. Nothing happens unless we get that inquiry into our sales funnel process. Here's another example. Finger food caterer is a very, very popular term these days in the catering industry. And in this instance, we've got 9 out of 24 search results. 9 out of 24 search results, we've got a 36% chance thereabouts of getting the click, of getting the customer to come into our sales funnel. Now, before you think, David, I like your 1 inch 1 mile strategy. I like the multiple website. I think it's a great idea. But, I'm too old. I can't do this. I've got no kind of technical experience. And can I suggest to you that this company started with one website, no paid results, X amount of years ago. And the owner of this particular company, Jeff Veal, is 65 years of age. So it's never too late to learn. It's never too late to start on this. If you bury your head in the sand and hope for this online marketing thing to go away, well, I've got bad news for you. It's here to stay, and it's going to even be more prevalent in the coming future.